I call again to sing a song. You should know. Oh. John, you on
Hi,
mute.
sweetie. How you doing?
Hi.
I love you.
How are you?
Amazing, and you?
Good. Did you just get a couple of ice?
Yes. Well, I had water in it, but it will be hot water when I go out.
Sure.
Right?
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are calling in from. My name is John Haremza. We are going to have a fireside chat today. The topic is going to be, back to the starting line. Of course, what we're doing here is we're going to be, going through chapter by chapter of my book over the summer months here. Last week, I think we were talking about my biggest challenge. This week, we are talking about back to the starting line. I think that's what the title of it was. Anyway, I am excited to be here with everyone. Let me see, I just got to admit some more people. It is the second day of July. My God, this month is going fast. It's already the second day of July. It feels like the month just got over, and here we are in day 2 of July. This summer is going to go very fast as well. So, one of the things I think, a couple things I just want to set this topic up, right? Eric Worre, some of you may know I'm a part of this, mastermind group, this weekly mastermind group. And then we get together like 3 times a year for a 2-day, mastermind, and it's really, really powerful. But one of the things that was discussed at this mastermind that really, I guess, I understood it. It made sense to me. It really resonated with me. Is Eric says we are in the building and the rebuilding. We are in the building and the rebuilding of our business. Okay, it is kind of, I guess, an illusion when people think that they can, just build something, quit, and it's just going to take off and run by itself. We are in the building and the rebuilding. We're dealing with people. And when you're dealing with people, anything can happen. Things change in people's lives. People get distracted. People get discouraged. People get excited. All kinds of things happen. And so, we think, right, the perfect model is someone joins and they're in and it just goes forever. But nothing goes forever. Nothing goes forever. You are constantly in the building and the rebuilding. And so the faster you can realize that and understand that you have to constantly be rebuilding, because you're going to have people that explode. You're going to have people that crash and burn. You're going to have people that get discouraged. You're going to have people that get distracted. And so I think the essence of what our fireside chat is really coming to grips with it and understand that it's just part of it. Right? It is just part of what we do. We're in the building and the rebuilding of our businesses. And there's going to be, Jim Rohn talks about the seasons of life, right? He talks about spring, summer, winter and fall. And he says, what follows winter is always spring. What follows spring is summer, and what follows summer is fall, and what follows, fall is winter. And in everyone's life, you're going to have various seasons that we're going to go through. And in any business, network marketing, Valentis, anything, you're going to have these seasons. You're going to have times of just crazy success and excitement. And there can be times where you might be in a winter, but someone else in your group, because they're new and they're just fresh, full of excitement, and maybe you've never done anything like this before, and they're just like, this is crazy exciting, can be in a summer, right? And so you have to just understand that. Prepare yourself that is part of what our business is. Matter of fact, it's not just part of what our business is. It is a part of business. It is a part of life. So one of the other things to understand is whatever season you might be in, it's not permanent. It will pass, right? If you're in a winter season, things are just not going well, things are struggling, it will pass. And guess what follows winter, spring? So whenever we're in a challenging moment in our life, in our business, just know it's not permanent. It's not going to last. You're going to get through it, right? And that's where it is so important to understand that that you will get through it. But it's equally as important when you're in that, that spring or that summer or that winter or that fall and harvest, and you're making money hands over fists and everything you do works, and you need to know and understand that that won't last either, right? I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I remember even being at a six-figure summit with Eric Worre with the GoPro, and there was this lady, first timer in network marketing, and she was just exploding, and making crazy money, first ever experience in the industry. And Eric just kind of laughed and just said, that won't last, that won't last. You're going to hit a difficult time. It's inevitable, right? So you're going to have this roller coaster. You're going to have these ups and downs, no matter who you are, what the company is, what the business is. It's going to be ups and downs, and you have to be prepared for that. You have to be prepared for that, because what happens if you're not prepared? What happens if you're not prepared is when the winter comes, you think, oh my God, this doesn't work anymore. Oh my God, I can't do this. You can do this. It does work. You just have to get through the winter. You have to get through the winter. And what happens during the winter is we build character. We build strength. We build wisdom. We build perseverance, right? But and so just again, because we all have these seasons. I just want to make sure that's number one point that I want to talk about, because I've had a lot of them. I've had a lot of ups and downs. I've had a lot of back to the starting line. I remember when my daughter, got involved with me in the business here with Valentis, and she got off to a pretty good start, and then it kind of all fell apart for her. And she just says, I feel like I'm starting over. And I just said, if you're lucky, you will only have to do that 2 or 3 more times, right? I mean, it is just the way our business is. It's just the way it is. If you're lucky, you may only have to do that 2 or 3 more times. So, but if you're not prepared, those tough times take you out of the business, right? And these tough times will take people within your organization out of the business. So you need to be that pillar of strength, that visionary, that encourager, that person that can see through to the spring of the summer, right? You to carry that person through, right? To encourage them and help them through. That's part of being that leadership. But you need to understand that it's natural. It's a part of the business. So here we are, in the summer. Well, what happens in the summer, as far as the actual season that we're in, 4th of July weekend? And matter of fact, this comes back to a talk about 3 or 4 weeks ago on one of the masterminds with Eric Worre. And he said this summer, because summer historically, is going to, numbers go down or flatline during the summer in almost every network marketing company, okay? And also over Christmas time, because people are distracted, right? But what Eric said is this summer, which I tend to agree, and there was a DSA call last week, and they said that the industry at large is experiencing about a 26% dip across the board because of the summer months, and the summer being much more difficult this summer than past summers because of coming out of COVID, right? Nobody went on vacation last year. Everybody was cooped up last year. And they're feeling like they're free, right? And they're getting out there, at least here in the United States anyway. So, this summer particularly can feel more difficult from a business standpoint than maybe other summers. Last summer actually was a good summer because everybody was at home. People that you struggle trying to get a hold of, they were at home. Everybody was at home. Well, now everybody's out. They're on vacation. The news talking about this 4th of July is going to be one of the busiest travel busier than before COVID ever started. We're back, higher than 2019 numbers is what they're expecting travel to be this weekend. So it is, it creates challenges. So what do we have to do? We have to be stronger. We have to see the silver lining within that challenge. And that silver lining is you can pick up market share, right? If you can, because don't take and wave the white flag and just say, well, it's going to be difficult. Everybody's distracted. I'm just going to wait till, this fall. I'm going to wait till the summer's over. I'm going to wait till the kids are back in school. If you take that approach, I'm telling you, starting over is going to be that much more difficult, because everything we do sets that example what others think they have to do. If you do that, they look around, they do the same thing. Pretty soon you have, absolutely went into, everybody went into a management mode, everyone into a maintenance mode, everybody stopped, and then getting it restarted is that much more difficult. Okay, so yes, it's more difficult right now, but it's going to make it much easier in the fall, as we approach, the new year, if you stay focused, if you stay busy, if you keep prospecting, if you keep doing what you're doing. I'm not, telling anybody, don't enjoy the summer, right? The days are long, but I'm telling you, don't stop. Because if you stop, your organization will stop, and it is really painful then to try to restart. So that essentially is my, my message today. I don't care who you are. I don't care what the company is. I don't care how great of a leader you are. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have times where you feel like you're starting over. And that is just part of what we do. We don't make huge money in this industry because it's easy. We don't make huge money in this industry because there's no challenges, right? The reason why there's so much, that's one of the things Jim Rohn talks about. Opportunity is mixed with challenges. If there are no challenges, literally there's no opportunity, right? It's the challenges that make it lucrative. Think about it that way. It's the challenges, it's the difficulties that make it profitable, that make the opportunity valid, that makes the opportunity incredible, right? Because what do challenges do? Take most out, which means those that are strong are going to succeed at that much higher of a level. So with that kind of as a opening and a backdrop of our topic here, starting over, some of you may feel that way. Some of you, I know Judy, I see you there. We have an event coming up next weekend in Salt Lake City. It's going to be, 100 plus people there. The end of the month, we have an event in Las Vegas. We're going to have 100 plus people there. And so we're moving forward. We're moving forward regardless of, as Jim Rohn says, the tide and the set of the sail and the winds. We're moving forward. And so anyway, again, I'll stop right now and we'll see if anybody has any input, any thoughts on this, anything they'd want to add to, this concept of starting over. And I'm guessing, I'm looking at some of you who've been around for a while, been in the industry for a while, and you can totally agree and identify with what I'm saying, that you're like what my daughter said, when her, first got excited and took off, and all of a sudden, it all fell apart. And she's like, I feel like I'm starting over. And again, I'm like, if you're lucky, you only have to do that 2 or 3 more times. So anyone want to jump in here?
Hey, John, can you hear me okay?
I can. Go ahead.
You remind me of a conversation I had with a friend of mine on Facebook that was interested in what we're doing. And he just simply said, hey, dude, you're so busy. How do you make time to build a business? I was like, it just kind of came off like, I just said, well, the funny thing is my life is a business. So I don't really have to make time for that. And so when you share that, it reminded me of that to remind me of this, is the seasons will always change, but the hope and opportunity that people have for their lives is always going to be there significantly. And I think the value that we have with Valentis is we're not a seasonal company, our products sell year round. And we just have to learn how to meet people where they're at. So if people are more busy like myself, spending more time with family, I'm still taking the opportunity to have lifestyle conversations with people, to plant the seed of hope and let people know what I'm doing, share my story. And from there, if I'm not able to do a lot, I'm still able to do a little bit, right? Planting a little bit of seeds here and there is better than not planting any at all. And I hear you with the whole idea of having to rebuild, because it's a people business. And with working with people, you're going to experience ups and downs because we have this thing called emotions. And if you don't master your emotions, you're going to allow your emotions to master you. And that is deadly, right? And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that because you reminded me of that conversation with my friend. And when you really embrace this as a lifestyle and the opportunity to actually create a freedom-based lifestyle, the way you want to design it, I think it's an equal playing field for everybody and anybody. It's just how committed are you in doing it long enough for you to achieve the level of success you want to achieve? Yeah, back to you, John, because I think I can keep going.
Yeah, well, and listen, you said several really important points. I'm just going to piggyback off what you said first off about the lifestyle, because people even ask me, John, how many hours do you work? And I said, I don't actually know, right? Because like you said, it is your lifestyle. It's hard to sometimes know when you're working and when you're not, because network marketing really is a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle. You do it. You don't have, there can be people that are structured that design, I'm going to work at, these particular hours, but the real masters do exactly what you said. It is part of their life. It is commingled in with everything that they do. We hear about somebody that, gets somebody really good and they think, wow, that person's lucky. Well, what luck is when opportunity meets preparedness, right? Just because you're at a party and you're enjoying yourself and you happen to run into somebody that's looking, I'm sorry, this isn't within the hours of time that I talk about business, right? Right. You don't do that. You just do it, right? Because money doesn't sleep. Money doesn't sleep. I don't care what's going on in your life. There's other things going on in other people's lives. They're dying for an opportunity. They're waiting for someone to give them a chance, to give them hope, to give them something, that could give them a glimmer of excitement in their life, right? And so we have to don't ever forget that this is a business. How many hours a week do I work? I don't know, because I'm at my lake place right now. I'm doing lawn work. My phone rings. I'm on the phone. I sit down in the shade and I'll do a 3-way phone call, right? I'm out fishing. The phone rings and, so whatever you do it. And again, you have to, if you really want to master this business, that is because we deal with all kinds of time zones and we deal with different people's schedules. And if you really want to be a master at this and get those high level of incomes, it needs to be, as you described, Siv, it needs to be a lifestyle. Needs to be part of your life. So go ahead. There's a couple other points that you had said that I'll think about it if we get somebody else here to comment, and I'll think about what they were, because you had a couple other really good points there. Somebody else want to jump in? Oh, yes, go ahead.
Go ahead, Diane. Go ahead, Blake.
Hi there. I'm just thinking, everything that you're saying is, we either know about it, and if we didn't know about it, we're going to be knowing about it. But with what's happening tomorrow, I would imagine that actually will be, if we're back at a starting line, it's such a great starting line wherever we might be in our own businesses. But this is on steroids, what's about to happen. And I think that probably people coming out of the pandemic may well realize that we got in a pandemic not because we weren't healthy, but by the same token, maybe a lot of things were being overlooked within our lives and around the world and how we did business of living. And so there's always good things that come out of bad things. And as you said a moment ago, John, the expression I use a lot is this too will pass. Or if not, I say, for what might this be good? Because you can always find it. So I think the excitement about what's happening tomorrow we'll make this getting to the starting line or wherever that might be for us just a whole new ball game for conversation throughout the summer and going into next year. And it's so exciting that you can't get excited, if you know what I mean, because you get over about the whole thing. So I truly think that this is a huge gift, huge gift. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for that, because that is really, I mean, our topic today is, back to the starting line. No matter, even if you're in a sprint right now, right? I mean, tomorrow with all the announcements and the things that are going to be taking place, look at it as another starting point, starting point to go to a new level, because there is some you don't want to miss tomorrow morning's training call, right? With Dave Jordan and Jeff Higginson. It's going to be a lot of information and announcements. This new customer program officially is actually going to be launched, and the numbers are crazy. And there's so many of us, and I shouldn't say us, there's so many people, because I don't fall myself in this category, but there's so many people, I shouldn't say that because I was initially, that have a lot harder time talking to people about business than they do about product. Talking to somebody about a product they're excited and passionate about is easy, right? Talking to people about a business sometimes can be difficult and uncomfortable. And this customer program that you're going to see unveiled and the numbers revealed and how that actually works, I believe everyone can go out there just sharing their experience, sharing other people's experience, being excited about just the products alone without building a team, can go out there and build a $500 to $1,000 a month residual income off of customer activity, right? And over time, I see people building a $3,000 to $5,000 a month residual income off the customer activity, right? So that's and what happens to really great customers is they end up eventually turning into great distributors, because they end up sharing it with. So yeah, that's a great point to be excited about, what's going to happen tomorrow, to be on that call, it's kind of like we're at the starting block and the gun's going to fire and we take off. So thank you for that. Anyone else want to jump in?
John, I'd like to just comment on that. At the starting blocks is a good analogy, but it seems to me that we're starting out at the 50-yard line in a 100-yard race, because I've not been around very long, but I've identified 5 products that I just can't live without, that any one of which could build a business. And with new things coming down the pike and the program that I don't fully understand yet, et cetera, can't wait till tomorrow to learn. But yeah, the starting blocks are giving us a little bit of advantage over even Usain Bolt.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That I like that analogy, that we're at the starting block. The gun's about to sound tomorrow on this customer program, other things that are happening, but we're in a 100-yard dash, but we're starting at the 50-yard line. I really like that analogy. Thank you for that. Anyone else want to jump in?
John, I'll just say something really quick about just something that popped up in it. I really believe we need to make sure we're listening, because in my memories on Facebook, 2 years ago, picture showed up for me with me holding my pants out going, I need new summer clothes. So my initial thought was, it's really hard to start over, and consistency is key. And I can truthfully say that I have been consistent, but a word that I wanted to share that I use on myself a lot is intentional friction. And there are choices. We all have choices. And part of my success has been intentional friction. So there's things that we know we shouldn't do that we do, and we don't like the result that we got. And I've learned to really pay attention to that in the last 6 years. Is Dairy Queen, for instance, is one of my intentional frictions. Is like, I can choose a bowl of cherries or I can choose a blizzard. And yesterday, that friction was really hard on me yesterday, because it was 30 above or 40 above here. But I chose a walk and cherries instead. But it was hard. So I think, that's my message, is I love this. It's really hard to go back to the start. And if I didn't have that intentional friction, I'd be continually starting over again. So yeah, we are at the 50-yard line, and I'm really super excited for the next dash that we're going to have.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kathy. And I definitely understand. I like that word, intentional. What'd you call it? Intentional friction?
Yeah.
Intentional friction. That's a great analogy as well. And so, well, fantastic. Anyone else want to jump in here? I can't believe we have almost 50 people on the 2 days before the 4th of July in the heart of the summer here. Even, you know, for me, I'm just like, oh, I got this Fireside Chat coming up. And I was like outside and putting gas in the pontoon a little bit ago. But, you know, that other word you mentioned was consistency. You have to just keep doing it. You have to, I mean, consistency will always win a race. Consistency and focus will always win the race. Consistency and focus.
John,
and
you're
managing your emotions. That I think Siv talked about that, the emotions. This is a very emotional business. And matter of fact, Jim Rohn, I'm sure both of them talked about it. Jim Rohn, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. But one of the things, there's a set of tapes, and it's actually Think and Grow Rich Revisited. And he talked about, there's a certain point in that I want to review this and bring it back to you guys at another time. But one of what was talked about is how you have to be able to control your emotions, right? If you want to be a leader, you have to be able to control your emotions. So with that, go ahead, Blair.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because that's just so key. It's funny, we listened to a number of pastors, and the one pastor we were listening to this morning was saying that the first thing you do when you get up in the morning is you set your mind, you control those emotions. When you just get out of bed, that's the first thing you have to do. He says, because if you get out of bed and you go to your cell phone and Facebook and all those other influences control your emotions. Whereas if you set your emotion for the day, then you can do the rest of the stuff. And that's so key. And that's really what Faye and I are working at down here, is getting our day set at the start of every day so that we can, be focused and building where we are. And just to go back, I was thinking back in the old days, back in the late 80s and early 90s, when a person was building network marketing, there was a certain benefit to being in the car driving all those miles that we remember. And I think that now we don't do that. And I think it's easier for someone to come in and to get out than if they had put on 10,000 miles in the last 3 months driving to help people. And they have that physical commitment to be there, not just, well, I'm going to be on a Zoom. So it's kind of funny, Finn, I've been talking about a few things that, when we grew really strong in that former company, when we started here. So I've just loved your topic for today, because it's so key to all of us that we just start and keep going and then restart and keep going. The growth season every year. So just really appreciate what you do for us, John.
Thank you, Blair. But two things. The first, we were talking a little bit about emotions, and to go off of what you just said, it's really, really true. Either your emotions are going to control you, or you're going to control the emotions, right? And I can tell you controlling your emotions is much better, right? Because then you having control of that, and it can be hard, because things can be upsetting. Things can happen on Facebook, and you let yourself, I've pulled myself back a lot of times about stuff that's posted that I want to maybe comment on, but I don't. I control my emotions, right? So that's a big point. But this other thing you just said, Blair, and I flash back. I honestly don't know if I would be where I am today if it wasn't for those hours and hours and hours and hours and hours in the car, listening to those audio tapes. I was living in Fargo, North Dakota, and I was driving to Omaha. I was driving to Denver. I remember middle of the summer, I had an old New Yorker, and I was listening. I was coming back from Colorado. I stopped in Lincoln, Nebraska to see one of my distributors. I pulled into his driveway, and I opened the door, and it almost created a rain, because my car was so cold inside with my air conditioner, and it was so hot outside. It was like a cloud emerged as I opened the door. And but anyway, I literally turned my car into a university on wheels. And that's a really good point, because we can do it on our iPhone now. We can do it when we're working out. We can do walking, but we have to do it. We have to find the time. And I mean, when I was back in those days, I mean, you had the time because you were driving all over the place, right? So, hey, if you're going on going somewhere for the 4th of July, use the time, right? Use the time, pop in one of those. I don't think cars have CD or DVD players anymore, but go ahead, Judy, you want to talk?
Yes, I just wanted to say something. I feel like with everything you've said, I just wanted to share, I feel like the 10th of July would be a great place, no matter where your business is, no matter how far in it you are, but it would definitely be a great starting line. And for many of us, it will be, we're looking forward to learning, everything. Like, we're so eager to learn everything and then just get going. So this really will be like a brand new starting point for us. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity. So anyways, I just wanted to share that, and thank you. I love these meetings. They're so, I mean, we just learn so much, and it's so great. And I love that they're recorded so we can go back and listen. So
well, thank you, Judy. I'm just thinking you have we have the event coming up in Salt Lake City next weekend, right? The 10th. And I was talking with Dave yesterday, and he says, that's probably only about a 10-hour drive for me from Sioux Falls. He said, you know what, I might jump in a car and join you guys there, and, as we're, coming off of this topic that we just talked about with, Blair talking about all the driving we used to do. Hey, this July 10th, maybe if you're within that 10-hour time frame, 6-hour time frame, jump in the car, listen to some personal development, join us in Salt Lake City on the 10th for that event, and get a tremendous amount of wisdom on the drive there and the drive back. And we'll try to give you some while you're there as well.
John, I have a question. Is it Salt Lake City close to Minnesota?
Well, Salt Lake City, I don't think there's a Salt Lake City in Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah, this is kind of where Salt Lake City is on the other side of Canada. So I think it goes Nebraska, then Colorado, and then Utah. So
okay, thanks.
I think you might even cross Iowa in there somewhere. Because you're in Minnesota, so it'd be all of a 10-hour drive for you, maybe 15.
It will be worth the drive, whatever it takes to get there. I mean, just take a look at the people that are coming to teach and train, and it's in person. We have John, this is great. These are amazing and super beneficial, but we're going to have him in person talking to us and sharing the lineup. Jeff Higginson, Dave Jordan, we have everybody coming. It's going to be super amazing.
It is indeed. Sounds good. Well, listen, we're running right at 34 minutes here. Anybody else want to give us a little comment or their wisdom, their challenge, maybe a time where they feel like they're starting over, or maybe they're in that frame right now, or maybe they just did and they're off the ground and running again. Anybody want to share something before we close out here today?
Hey, John, real quick.
Hey, Lisa, how are you?
I'm good. I was just thinking about when you brought up at the beginning of the call, the seasons of life, and I think that Bill Ball taught me a lot about that throughout the last 9 years. And when we were all talking about consistency as well, I am caregiving for my son's father right now. And so I feel like, okay, I'm in this season of my life. And so I may not be out every day like I used to be, but I'm taking advantage of the nurses and the people that are coming in to caregive. So I'm telling them, I'm showing them the results of Emulin all of a sudden, on his legs from diabetes. And then I'm sending them the videos, on Emulin, and just, whoever's walking in the door of my house, let alone when I do get out, from caregiving breaks or whatever. I just think that's what Bill taught me, is like wherever your day is taking you, wherever your life is taking you, that's the point of the seasons of your life, is just, you know, share your love, share God, share your products, share this business, share the opportunity of being able to stay at home in a home-based business, and what was a very difficult year this last year for everyone. So thank you again for the Fireside Chat.
Yes, thank you, Lisa, for that. And, it sounds like, there was you have had a lot of things in your life, a lot of roadblocks and obstacles and turns that took you down, a path you weren't expecting to go down, but you had to go down. And, but you made it through it. You made it to the next turn in the road, right? Okay, well, listen, everybody, we'll go ahead and say goodbye. I'm going to be catching a flight here this afternoon. I'm flying back to Las Vegas. And so we'll look forward to talking with you on Monday. Monday, we'll be doing the normal opportunity Zoom. And then the other thing, somebody's trying to, hold on here a second before we. The other thing I'll just say before we close off is, because I always forget to, is remember to put a reminder in your phone to get others, because I really think we're building something here with this Fireside Chat. I'm loving the interaction. Put a reminder in your phone. Go to my YouTube channel and put the notification. Turn your notification on, so you'll get, if you forget, you'll get notified that we went live on YouTube, because we're live on YouTube right now. And if you haven't liked that channel, do so. There's got to be 200 videos on there or something. I mean, there's a ton of videos and training and content on that YouTube channel. So with that, everybody have a fantastic Independence Day and be safe, have fun, talk to people, and we'll talk to you again.